Hello and welcome to the first Stretty News TV video in quite some time. We are live and I'm with Philip. Philip that writes the blog quite regularly. How are you, Philip?
Not too bad. How are you? How's things?
Not too bad. Feeling a bit more pessimistic than I did at the beginning of the season, but look, hopefully things start to shape up. The title of this video is basically, is it time to ask questions to Jose Mourinho? It is his second season in charge. His second season at clubs is usually much better than his first. He usually goes on to win the title, and I think looking at City this year around, it's not going to be easy. Going into the season, before it even started, Philip, were you optimistic that we have a right good challenge and that we go for the title, or did you think City would be that good?
Well, I think we all knew, we all imagined that Guardiola would have learned his lessons from the mistakes that he would have made last year in terms of the goalkeeper, in terms of some of the defenders that he kept on, and certainly a lot of his midfield options. He solved that. He got a great keeper in Edison. He got a couple of fantastic options in the likes of Bernardo Silva and people like that. And this is Jesus' first full season at Man City, and he's just hit the ground running so far.
I think especially on Twitter, when you pass a compliment about Man City, United fans seem to get very, very, very defensive about it. And it's kind of like, why aren't you praising Mourinho and blah, blah. They're two very, very different set of coaches. And in their own right, they're brilliant what they do, the best out there at the moment. But something that I've noticed is, since the beginning of the season, how we started by blitzing teams, is how drastic a perspective can change after two results, like the draw at Liverpool and the defeat to Huddersfield. The attitude has just totally changed. It's so pessimistic now.
Well, I suppose what a lot of us remember is that the last couple of seasons have been so bad, so up and down, that any sort of bad results, be it a draw or a defeat or a poor performance away to Benfica, and people will naturally say, "Oh no, not again."
No, I think United are kind of like, we've basically come out of somewhere we've been spoiled for years. Then we went to David Moyes and Van Gaal, and it's totally now basically waiting to be disappointed. Maybe that feeling of pessimism comes from basically the two bad results. Well, maybe a draw at Anfield's not a bad result, but the performance to let down. Two bad performances. Now all of a sudden we're kind of thinking, are we going back into that shit again where it's just another season of torment or whatever? I think what Mourinho though is, it's the approach to the game in Anfield which really hurts people. United were cowardly in their approach. Like, you look at Spurs weekend just gone against Liverpool, and I know they were at home at Wembley, but they blitzed that defence. That defence is there for the taking, We didn't really even have a go at it. Like, when you have Lukaku up front, you spend so much money on him. You have players like Mkhitaryan again. For me, not the icing on the cake, but there's so many players there, creative players. We expect so much more from. And why do you think we went to Anfield and had that sort of attitude? For me, just you take a draw at Anfield, but you wouldn't take a performance like that. It's cowardly.
Yeah, do you know, a lot of fans prior to the game were saying this is a team that United can get at if they start in the right mood. They had a team that basically, I mean, to actually do it, but I don't think they actually really believed in themselves all that much. They were barely okay. They defended well. They restricted. Okay, Liverpool had one or two chances, but it wasn't the full out assault that a lot of people made it out to be. But how many opportunities did we make ourselves, and how many times did it actually look like Liverpool were going to creak or break at any time? I can't remember any.
Like, something that I look at is, and it's been mentioned a number of times, is you look around the coaches that people consider the top coaches in England right now. You have the Pochettinos, your Pep Guardiolas. You can mention your Klopps. Their managers with kind of a certain kind of mentality going forward. They entertain. But then you also have Klopp, where you can't defend. And it's like, at the moment, sometimes I watch United and see Mourinho's taking lots of flair, attacking players. Like, I look at Martial, and I think he's our bright spark going forward. We don't always start games. And I think he's not the type of forward that will flourish under Mourinho, which is a great shame, because I look at Martial and I see a player there.
Well, he has been so far. He had been so far up until that point. He's actually started the season extremely well. I mean, he's probably had more goals this season than what he had last season.
But was that more Martial saying to Mourinho, well, pick me because I'm fucking good enough? You know what I mean? Because he wasn't picking him, and it's kind of the attitude where I'm going to stick my middle finger up at you and show you what I can do, and he did do that. Now, against Huddersfield, and I remember tweeting it the other day when he got that silly yellow card, which, to be honest, it could have resulted in the red the way he reacted afterwards. I said afterwards, this is going to be a test of his character. The Huddersfield fans were getting the back of United. Mourinho was on the touchline telling Martial to lay out the tackle a small bit, while Ashley Young was telling Martial to put in tackles. They look slightly rattled, and I was kind of thinking, you know, one person giving you a message and the other person giving you different. That's like something you hear of Sunday League, and it just seemed that we've seen it at Swansea too this season. Actually, I know we won late on in the game, but the away atmosphere rattled some of the players. Swansea rattled Pogba and rattled Rashford, if I remember correctly. And I've seen bits of that at Huddersfield, and obviously, yeah, exactly. So, like, the likes of those, Mourinho mentioned the attitude, we didn't have that desire. I believe he gave Ander Herrera a bollocking at full time for his attitude. But, like,
well, he compared it to the testimonial game, didn't he?
Yeah, he said it was like a friendly, but it's easy to sit, like, this is something we've seen before with Mourinho at Chelsea. When things weren't going his way, he did start to come out and he started having a go at players, started having a go at referees, which you'll probably see if the results keep going this way. Does anyone ever sit back and say, man management? Because people kind of resemble Mourinho with siege mentality, and before he gets great man management, but I don't think going all out and hammering your players after defeat and picking at their attitude is the right way forward. It has to come from the manager.
Yeah, there was actually quite an interesting article in The Guardian, I think, on Sunday. It was either Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, and they were saying the fact that both Mourinho and Klopp were becoming experts in shifting the blame to other people instead of taking the fault on themselves.
But you know, actually, fittingly, because the whole Liverpool-Manchester United rivalry, in the lead up to that on Sky Sports, it was just a big, massive PR trail. If you go back in recent years, the majority of the time, the game is shit. It's not a spectacle. It's all PR driven. Then after the game, you have two managers who can work PR brilliantly. They're going hammers and tongs at it as well. So, like, is it more PR now than it is actually a spectacle, a rivalry?
Well, many would argue the fact that certainly we haven't been challenging for the league in the past couple of years. Liverpool certainly haven't. Like, so, it's is it a competition that's more important to the fans than the actual managers?
There you go. Well, then again, you also have Mourinho, who apparently he's never been beaten in Anfield. And I kind of thought after the game, was he going into that game trying to defend his record more than Manchester United?
There was that one defeat with the goal that didn't count, wasn't there?
Oh yeah. but even, you know, like you mentioned that it means more to the fans, and you know, you're probably right, because if you look at the Manchester derby, and you take account of the amount of locals playing that game. Look, I know some foreign footballers come to Manchester and they get it. Patrice Evra got it at Man United. He understood what the club was about, the DNA, the history. He understood it all. But I think he's an exception. And I think the vast majority come to foreign league, whether it's England players going to Spain or whatever, and you never quite get that. The majority, I would say, don't quite get that hatred of growing up and seeing your family wearing a kit and hating Liverpool and vice versa, and the humour between both cities, and foreigners don't get that. And that goes for every league. You know, we go over there, we wouldn't exactly get the whole to the Manans Derby or whatever.
I think Juan Mata does get it though.
Oh, there's definitely exceptions. Like I said, Everett. Look, there's been a few. Vidic, you know, these players all got it, but I think that there is a lot too that kind of don't quite get the same taste as a local. I think that maybe that's where that roots from, that the game doesn't mean as much because of that. Because when was the last time in Manchester derbies they had 3, 4, 5 Mancunians in it?
Not too often. I'd say the last the derby where we won 1-0 with Van Gaal, I think we had 2 or 3, and I don't think Man City had any.
Was Micah Richards from Manchester?
He was from Leeds.
Leeds, yeah. You see, there was a good few. And I think you have to go right back, maybe 5.
You had that time a couple of years ago before the millions went into Man City. You had the likes of Michael Johnson, Stephen Ireland, Micah Richards. You had a couple of other guys that had come through the academy. But since they've been honoured with the amount of money that they've had for the amount of money that's going into their academy, there's not been an awful lot come through, unfortunately.
Just before we go on to some of the questions some listeners have sent in to us, I want to get to the bottom line of some of this, right? So, Jose Mourinho, you have 2 questions. 2 things on your mind from Mourinho. What are they and why?
Okay. Why do you think any United team would set out to not win? Why do you think United should be finishing anywhere other than first?
Yeah. And the questions will drag on. I've no answers for them. Right? I think it's probably still early yet. This season's going to tell an awful lot about Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. Anything below second or third, I think is a failure. If he leaves Manchester United at any stage and leaves without a Premier League title, failure. That's what he was brought in to do. I think people got a little bit upset last week when the whole PSG thing came out, and to be honest, I was slightly angered by his attitude, even entertaining such conversation, because a Manchester United manager shouldn't be talking about my next job.
You never talk about your next job, like.
No, if I went to my employee tomorrow, one of the editors, and I go, you know what, I can't to move out of here and go on to the Guardian. I don't think it's going to please anyone, you know. So look, that's there as well. But I do think he has to leave Man United at some stage, and he doesn't do it at a title.
Well, fans don't expect him to spend 20 years at the club. They don't expect him to stay there forever.
Don't think it'd be healthy either.
An Alex Ferguson situation is a complete anomaly.
Yeah. We'll never see that again. But I don't think 5+ years of Mourinho will be healthy anyway. I think if he comes in 3-4 years, wins the title and goes, I think maybe then we can maybe have a sit down and chat over a long-term fix. He's not a long-term fix, and Mourinho never will be. If you can come in and do a job, we respect it. Best of luck. Thank you. Enjoy the PSG money. I don't think Mbappe will do much tracking back for you, but you won't have to defend it on field for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll get on to some questions, right? So we have one. I'm not going to even try to pronounce this name, but I can read it.
Handles, is
it? How do you want to tweak the current formation as Fellaini and Pogba remain sidelines? Without them, Lukaku and Mkhitaryan get isolated.
Well, the question is how long Pogba is actually going to be out for. Is it going to be another 2 weeks?
I don't understand why we're waiting so long. A hamstring for a footballer is a standard injury.
But they haven't set out an actual timescale as to when he's going to be back, have they?
No. So, should we tweak the formation without those two big boys in midfield?
Well, the obvious thing would be to bring Ander Herrera in with his energy. He's not at the club. Well, Alex Twansby. He would certainly be a great option in terms of sitting in front of back four and just providing that energy and that solidity there.
Yeah. We also signed Daily Blind as a central midfielder.
Yeah, and I mean he's barely featured so far. He could certainly do a good job there as well. Like,
I have another one there from Tom Simpson. Can you see one of Mkhitaryan or Juan Mata moving on if there's serious interest in bringing Ozil in on a free, or is there room for 3 in the 1 squad? Let's not forget Ander Pereira to come back next year, and next season. So, is there room for Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Mata?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
Would you bring in Ozil, or would you get rid of one of the other two?
It depends on how serious this Ozil contract situation actually is, and I mean, Juan Mata is an extremely popular player at the club. He's extremely popular with the supporters, and I don't know. He was always the guy that they figured would lose out when Mourinho came in.
Yeah.
But the last couple of games, Mkhitaryan hasn't been doing it really for me.
No, for me, I've seen the start of the season, even when he was getting, say, consecutive man of the match appearances, and I've seen him pulling out tackles, and I was thinking, this really isn't a Mourinho player for me. I won. And the more I watch him, I'm not surprised by that consistency. He didn't really impress me last season either. He has
not to say that Mesut Ozil is a David Batty type player with his tackles or anything like that, or a Roy Keane.
No, absolutely not. And Mata isn't really either. But I think from watching and what we have available to us right now, I would much prefer Juan Mata starting in that role than Mkhitaryan. I think he offers much more. I'm not saying he's going to be busting tackles. He's very lightweight. He gets pushed the ball quite easily, as seen against Huddersfield the weekend. But for me, I think he's a better player. And I think Ozil, I'm not too sure he's needed. I think there's other areas.
I think he's actually needed, to be honest with you. I think there are better choices out there.
But we have these creators in the team. Why aren't we creating chances?
I don't know. I mean, is it the lack of Pogba in there?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, if you consider the amount of assists he had in the first couple of games at the start of the season before the injury, he was charging through and setting guys up. Like, I mean, he's set up, 3 or 4 chances in the first couple of games. For Lukaku and for Rashford and for Martial. You're obviously going to miss somebody like that, but there should be enough of creativity in that middle of the park anyway to not have to be solely reliant on one player alone.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan, he's the captain of his country. Juan Mata has played how many games in the Premier League? How many games for Spain? You'd expect you should have those guys saying, "Okay, right, here's my chance now to stamp a bit of authority into the team, like, and make it difficult for the manager to drop me."
that's what you'd hope. You'd hope when someone gets a chance that like they raise that kind of question to give the manager a selection headache. But the amount of times I've seen players get a chance and not perform, it's frustrating, it's mind-boggling. But I think on the next question we're going to probably have a falling out or a tough one here. Niall Dorn from one of the very good boxing and reporters from Ireland has asked the greatest United midfielder of all time. Now, to make that's a very, very difficult one, and we could argue all night. So I'm going to give you a slight advantage here.
Okay, shoot.
You have more years on me. So the best Man United midfielder that you've seen.
I would have to say Brian Robson.
Brian Robson, okay, before my time. So tell us why Robbo and not Keano.
Because I think it was primarily because that man just dragged the team out of. Roy Keane was playing in a better United team at the time. Brian Robson, he had the likes of Terry Gibson around him, some other players that just didn't cut the mustard. And I mean, that game against Barcelona alone at Old Trafford, where United were 2 down after the first leg, and they came back to win 3-0. And he just dragged and kicking, streaming through that game. And the amount of injuries that he took, the length of service that he had, the possibilities so often of moving to the likes of Juventus and AC Milan and Barcelona at the time, that he stuck with United throughout. And obviously he won an FA Cup in '83, an FA Cup in '85. Didn't win anything then until 1990. So I mean, the amount of trophies that he won at the club, you can't compare it to the likes of Roy Keane or Paul Scholes, but the amount of performances that he had with a team that half the time they were in the lower half the time they were.
In a way, when you describe Robson and listen to other Reds describe Robson as a player and live, obviously you can see live. Envision Man United players as someone that basically epitomises Manchester United, a true leader, and I see that with Roy Keane as well, and that's why. See, he's a funny one for me because the best player I've seen in Man United shirt was clearly Cristiano Ronaldo, but the one player that made me awe every time I seen him was Paul Scholes and how he did things. But then part of me says, then when I think of midfielder, I think of Roy Keane. I think of Roy Keane crushing into tackles and and giving everyone that shiver up their spine a bit.
He had that aura about him, like.
Yeah, and am I answering this question saying who was the actual best? Who was the best central midfielder? Am I asking the question is who would I rather have beside midfield? It's a different answer. Is that weird or is that making any bit?
It's
like being
Alex Ferguson always had a mantra when signing players. Can this player produce the goods when you're in trouble at somewhere like Anfield?
Yeah, well, I think it was Eric Steele actually gave an interview to United We Stand after he left the club, the goalkeeping coach. And he said when they watched David De Gea, I think the season before, and they left to go Madrid were away to Liverpool, whether it was a pre-season game or some tournament, that they went and they watched him, and they basically went noting that if he can't do it in Anfield, well then he can't do it at Man United.
That's it.
You can't do it there. But there you go. So sorry to jump topic, but should Man United not do the same thing with Jose Mourinho?
Perhaps. Yeah. Well, I suppose the thing is, there was Alex Ferguson did have quite a few fairly dour and boring 1-0 wins at Anfield in his time. And
in the last week, lots of people have forgot that.
Yeah.
You know? No, for me to answer the question, you said Robbo, the best midfielder I've seen. Man, I'm going to say Paul Scholes, because whenever I watch him, I left the ground a number of times and out wide open. Did he just do that? Like, when he got the ball, there could have been 4 or 5 players surrounding him, but he always had that yard or 2 of space.
There is a reason so many opposition players said he was one of their favourite players.
Yeah, yeah. But, like I said, if I was in the pub, I'd want Roy Keane beside me. Just in case I kicked off.
Yeah, hopefully not sat beside you, like.
Absolutely. Look, I really enjoyed this. This is only a really short video just to get the channel up and running again. We kind of answered the question: is there questions to be asked to Jose Mourinho? But the real reason that's the title of the video is we want that in the comment section. We want you to tell us. So we come back next week with another video. We can have a look at the comments. What kind of questions you have for Jose Mourinho?
Just a quick one before we finish. The performance of Victor Lindelof. I was reading an article there from Andy Mitten just before I came in here, and he was saying obviously he didn't have a great game by any stretch of the imagination. He was obviously culpable for the second goal. Suppose you have to remember the likes of Patrice Evra, Nemanja Vidic. Going back to the 80s, Gary Pallister, they all came with big reputations, and in the case of Gary Pallister, he was one of the most expensive defenders at the time, and they all had a couple of games where they had absolute stinkers. They just grew into the role.
I've never wrote off the United player in his first season, and I never will. I won't be starting now. I never will. And I give him that benefit of doubt. But I was speaking to someone today, and they said Pallister was never that bad. Now, look, I've seen nothing of Lindelof so far that would fill me with confidence. I've seen nothing. I can see signs that he's comfortable bringing the ball forward.
Would he be better playing at left back?
What really interested me that you said that
Darmian.
On the pre-season tour, whenever Lindelof played after the first appearance, it was always 3 at the back, and he played the left side of it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking, and I was writing about it, saying, will Mourinho try that sometimes during the season? Whenever he was at 2 at the back, or 4 at the back even, never looked quite the same.
No, he didn't know.
I think Mourinho has his way. Look, Lindelof deserves time like anyone does. You know, any new sign betting in. I think what doesn't help is the fact that Eric Bailly came in last summer and just set this up quickly. It doesn't help him because people are wondering why isn't Lindelof doing the same thing.
Yeah. You have to remember Marcus Rojo was on his way in the summer, and he completely surprised people last year.
I would say one thing that I really liked about Rojo, and I always liked about him. I didn't think he was a great defender, but I love his fiery streak. I love the way he's not afraid to stick. 30s,
90 South American spirit that very few defenders actually have in the English Premier League.
Yeah. I remember Gabriel Heinze had the same thing. Who else had? There was a good few Chelsea players on the Marine that had that. Pereira was one of them.
Michael Essien certainly had it.
Essien had it. Ballack was a bit of a bollocks.
Yeah.
Who else was it? There was definitely 1 or 2 more. David Luiz. Remember getting Raphael sent off. I was at that game. And he laid down in front of the strip for ending the corner flag, smiling as Raphael gets sent off for lashing out.
Carvalho as well,
he was one of the main culprits actually.
Yeah.
He was a dirty fucker, but again, smart defender. If he's one of your players, you're gonna love him. You know what I mean? So look, like I said, it was a short video. Really enjoyed Philip coming on. Hopefully we'll be on again next week. And maybe next week we have more kind of a structure. This is based just to get something out, have a few comments. But like I said, the video title there, is there questions to be asked to Jose Mourinho? We want your replies there. We'll get back to you next week. We'll answer some of the questions, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. So Philip, do you want to give your Twitter now plug?
Yeah, it's Philip, Philip that's PhilipEMorrisse at just at that, and Facebook.com /The Lofty Dog, and whatever articles I have up on Stretty News, you can catch them up there as well.
Great stuff. We'll link that on the YouTube and so on. You can follow me at O'Donnell Dale, or of course at Stretty News and at Stretty News TV. We're on YouTube at Stretty News and at Stretty News TV. We have 2 of the pages on each network, and of course subscribe to Stretty News TV on YouTube. We'll be back next week, Monday or Tuesday. Make sure you leave your comments, and we'll be back to you soon. Come on, you Reds.